Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Continental Championship Wrestling Review. This is our discussion in Rodney West, June 15th, 1985, the very first Continental Championship Wrestling. And it started out with Gordon Solie with the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. What did you think about that, Rodney?
Oh, Ric Flair. First of all, it was a total different shock from Southeastern Championship Wrestling to Continental Championship Wrestling. We go to the arena format inside of legendary Bow Auditorium. And how many other matches have you seen from the Boutwell, from Nick Goulas? And then, of course, we still get to see some video from some of the other towns as well, which I think is very important. And in time, they will drop that for whatever reason. But that's the case. We do start the program. And what a way to start it off with the NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair against Josh Stroud. Josh. My friend, I believe the guy on the front row would have done a better job than he did, but it was like pulling teeth. But Flair, again, could wrestle with a broomstick and make it look good. Those chops were getting over in that Boutwell Auditorium. Flair tried to give something to Josh, but it was just he just had to take back over. In the end, it's Flair with his patented reverse figure four leg lock. And of course, winning the match in that one. Then we go to video of Bob Armstrong. And this is before the Bullet Bob Armstrong with Bad to the Bone video put together. I believe they did that. Was that one of those Memphis jobs, or did they do that in Dothan, Brent?
No, I think they did that in Dothan, Alabama.
Good job. They really did a good job. Dothan was a good show for that market, for sure. Yeah. For that market, really shouldn't have gave that up. I should have kept doing that as normal, and actually had this as a second show. After that, we come with an interview with Bob Armstrong and Lord Humongous Bob Armstrong, the current Continental Heavyweight Champion, Lord Humongous, the Alabama Champion, and they're going to defend their titles in a very unusual tag team match, where both single titles are going to be up to grabs in a tag team match. It's going to be Bob Armstrong and Lord Humongous against Ron Fuller, the Tennessee Stud and the Flame, who are in the ring. And they have their rebuttal to Bob Armstrong and Lord Humongous in this very unusual match that's coming up. That is, in fact, the main event coming up at the next Boutwell Auditorium event.
You know, something, I miss that type of deal. I miss where the wrestler is at the desk and the wrestler is at the ring, and I miss that very much. But now, one thing that I wanted to point out before this interview, there was a promo done by, I'm guessing it was a guy from Straightforward, but I'm pretty sure that he was sleeping while he was doing this.
Yes. He did some coffee. There's no doubt about that. They did that really late in the evening. As Continental Championship Wrestling comes to Boutwell Auditorium this Monday night. I won't go through the whole thing, but it was like he worked for NPR. I don't know.
It was. Woo.
Match number 2 had the Flame, Jody Hamilton. Woo, my goodness, what a great guy. Big guy, and he dwarfed Jason Walker, and you really never knew just how big the Flame was, Jody Hamilton, but he was, and to be that big and to be able to move like he moved, just outstanding in that match. In the end, it's the Flame winning with a clothesline. The interview with the United States Junior Champion. I love talking about this. It's like going back home. Scott Armstrong, United States Junior Heavyweight Champion, along with another great Pork Chop Cash. And they're talking about their upcoming matches with Bill Ash and Boomer H. Lynch. Of course, Pork Chop Cash working with Boomer Lynch and Bill Ash and Scott Armstrong. Those are the opening matches in a lot of these towns, and you just couldn't follow them. Scott and Bill Ash really tore the house down, and that was the opening match.
Bill Ash doesn't get credit he deserves. You know, we talk about a top 100 list of wrestlers. He could be in that. Now, nobody would understand why he was in it, except for the people that got to see the matches Bill Ash had. Tremendous.
Yeah. And, of course, Bill Ash called Scott Armstrong the cheating Scott Armstrong in that interview. Match number 3 has Larry Clark against a very an unusual live appearance of the Tennessee Stud, Ron Fuller, in the ring for this one. It's Ron Fuller, Larry Clark. I think it was a great match.
It was.
Very good match. In the end, it's Ron Fuller winning with the pile driver. Just tremendously gifted. Coming out there with that robe, that's an Olivia Walker Jr., Olivia Walker special. Olivia Walker special coming out, and it looked awesome. He looked like a star, and he was. He was the biggest star there. In another interview comes the Nightmares, still in the show.
Yes.
Danny Davis, Ken Wayne, and talking about the match from Dothan, Alabama, the Nightmare Cage match, and thinking, well, these are the Southeastern Tag Team Champions. Of course, apparently they're going to have to give the belts back to the Nightmares. And in that match, they showed it from Dothan. It was the Nightmare Cage match. It was Steve Armstrong getting out of the cage. And in the Nightmare Cage match, you have to make a pinfall, climb the cage, get out. Well, once Steve was out, then it was 2-on-1 against Johnny Rich, and they were making fun of him, and it was great. And, of course, they gave him the inverted pile driver, and of course, Steve was trying to get back in the ring. But, yeah, they said, look at this guy. They kept saying, where's Johnny? Where's Johnny? The Nightmares just outstanding. Of course, in the end, it's the Gordon Solie handing back the Southeastern Tag Team Championship belts to the Nightmares. Ken Wayne and Danny Davis. That was worth the price of admission right there. That interview
was. The Nightmares, both of them they could do such great interviews and really get that heat, boy. There ain't no doubt about it. Whoa, it was
Danny
it was
and Kenny, and sometimes when they talk, you almost couldn't tell which one was which. Yeah. Because a lot of their interview style was the same, was identical. A lot of the wrestling was as well. Then they come back with another interview with Steve Armstrong. He was speaking in the interview. And they go, now Steve's got him a brand new partner. And they go to Atlanta with Freddie Miller and Tommy Rich. And Tommy Rich talks about it's going to come and take Johnny's place and take care of the Nightmares and team with Steve Armstrong. And he gets fired up in that interview, and Tommy was looking good. You have to admit, he was in this.
Now, was this during the time that the second incarnation of Ann Gunkel's wrestling company was going on at the same time?
I believe so, because it was a good production for sure. Yes. It was a good production. So then we come to match number 4, Austin Idol versus Jimmy Golden, Southeastern Heavyweight Championship on the line. Jimmy Golden, Southeastern Champion. Those people were ready for this match. Like they've always said, Bob Armstrong always said that they always had 6 main events. Well, this one, you could tell by the reaction of the crowd of what they came to see that night. It was Austin Idol against Jimmy Golden for the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship. Brett, what did you think about this one?
I would not consider that a Ric Flair heavyweight championship match. It was good for what it was, and it did get over in the end. Now, I will grant you, this is the only problem. I believe Jimmy Golden was underneath the ropes when he got pinned.
He most certainly was. He most certainly was, and they went ahead and did it anyway.
I believe Roy George was going to. It was Roy George, wasn't it?
No, Roy wasn't counting him out. He wasn't going to, and they told him to.
Yeah, I think one of them, either Austin Idol or Jimmy Golden, told him to count him down. I don't think that should have been done.
No, I don't
but
think so either.
The people went crazy.
The crowd goes nuts. Austin Idol winning the Southeastern Heavyweight Championship, and it was up to that point to the last part of it was great. Everything went just as planned until he was in too close to the ropes, and he got entered. But now that I'm thinking about it, was it purpose? Now Jimmy Golden has a reason to say, I wasn't beat. I was in the ropes. I was under the ropes. Now that I think about it, I think it was purpose. I think it was done purposely. Be up under the ropes. Jimmy says, I wasn't beat. And, of course, leads to a great rematch. In the interview is Austin Idol on the stage with Gordon, the new Southeastern champion. And inside the ring with Mike Jackson is Jimmy Golden. He's all upset about losing the Southeastern championship. And like you said, the crowd goes absolutely wild. And there's no doubt about that. Last part of the show, and for whatever reason, apparently somebody wasn't keeping up good with the time. had the Nightmare cage matches. Steve and Scott Armstrong against the Nightmares. And of course, Gordon says we're going to run this match to the end of TV time, or TV time's rapidly running out. And then I believe it played for like 3 minutes after they went off there, after Gordon stopped commentating. On the next show, it's the United States Junior Champion. It's going to be Scott Armstrong against Bill Ash on television. Southeastern Tag Team Champions will be the Nightmares going against Steve Armstrong and Tommy Rich. All next week on the next episode of Continental Championship Wrestling.
Make sure you watch episode 2 of the Continental Championship Wrestling discussion. If you're enjoying this, give us the big thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to it and go one step further. Hit that notification bell. It'll let you know every time we upload a video. Until the next Continental Championship Wrestling discussion, so long.